Welcome back, kids. This is Mr. Carlson, C-Squared Mathematics. Welcome back to Algebra 2.1, where we are now going to go through our last video. So our last lesson was yesterday, writing quadratic equations. We're going to go through some bell work and then the homework quiz right today. And then you will be going through the Desmos activity. Match my parabola using what you learned with quadratic equations and writing quadratic equations so that you can see basically how to apply those skills in the Desmos frame. But this is the last video. After this video, you're just going to be going through your test, your quadratics test, and preparing for your final exam. I know, so sad. Okay. Let's go to town. These are the two bell work questions. I'm going to go through these fast. I don't want to make this video probably more than 10 minutes long. So write an equation of the parabola that has the same shape as either this or that. So remember, this is when it's a min, and this is when it's a max. So negative is when it's a max, plus is when it's a min. So if they say, find me a max, I'm not going to be using this. I'm going to be using this. So what is this? Well, this is the exact same thing as saying y equals 7. Well, if I have y equals 7 and x equals negative 7, that means my vertex is going to be negative 7 comma 7, which means my actual equation is y equals, same shape as this, so negative 8. And then in parentheses, I have x plus 7. Make sure you write down the plus, because it's a built-in negative there for my x value, for my h value, squared, also don't forget the squared, and then plus 7. Okay? That will be my final answers. Perfect. Now let's write this equation. What is this? Well, write an equation in standard form. This is in standard form. Okay, so I probably didn't do that on the video. Darn, I just kind of skipped past it. I probably put it in vertex form, yeah? So in standard form, I'm actually going to show you in standard form then here. Sorry, in the last video, I'm thinking, did I put it in standard form? I don't think I did. I think I put it in vertex form, but that's okay. So standard form of the parabola that has the same shape as the graph, f of x equals 6x, and then this is my vertex, so that means y equals 6, and then times x minus 5 squared, and then plus 1. So it's that simple, but let's put it in standard form here. So this is the same thing as saying y equals 6, and then x minus 5 times x minus 5 plus 1. So let's FOIL all this out. So this is x squared plus 10x, and then plus 25. I made one mistake here. It's actually a minus 10x. So I FOILed that out. If you're struggling with that, just let me know. But we should be solid with our foiling by now. I'm gonna distribute this out. So this is 6x squared minus 60x, and then that's gonna be plus 125, or 150 rather. Another mistake. Okay, so I'm gonna erase that. 150. 6 times 25 is 150. And then I have plus 1, so altogether y equals, I have 6x squared minus 60x plus 1, so plus 151. So this is my final standard form. This is my vertex form, sure, but that's my standard form there. And if you wanted to check it, you could plug both of them on Desmos and then check it. If they're the exact same graph, that means they're the exact same equation. Awesome. So that is the bell work. Last bell work of Algebra 2.1. So let me erase that and let's get to the homework quiz. This is going to be 4 questions this time. 4 questions because they can be kind of lengthy, especially if you want to do the 3 by 3 there. But make sure you use your Desmos calculator. This is the Desmos calculator that we utilize. Remember, it's called the writing quadratic functions given 3 points. That's going to be on Google Classroom. Send any partial credits my way. Begin your homework assignment at Unit 3, and also begin your Desmos activity. I will go through probably maybe 3 or 4 slides of this activity. I really want to try to challenge you on this, but you will need this this slide up, or not slide, this Desmos graph up. You'll need this for a good majority of them, not all of them, but a good majority of them, you'll need them. So make sure you have this out because they're going to be very useful for you to actually solve using your standard form. Okay? So what is this? Well, in this activity, what you're going to be basically doing is working through a series of scaffolded quadratic graph challenges to develop your proficiency with standard in vertex form and factored form and other quadratic forms. Okay, I really want to. It's basically the king of quadratics. If you have yet to do this, okay, if you have yet to do this, then please do this. If you have yet to go through this Desmos activity, please, because this will actually challenge you to know exactly what quadratics are, how you can use quadratics, and so forth. It's actually really, really fun. Okay, so let's go through it. So again, here's the code if you need it. The code is also on Google Classroom. Just click on the link there. Pause the screen if you need to get to it. Let's get started. So basically, you're just going to be going through each one and try to match what kind of graph they have. Either given these points that they have on the graph, which in that case, you'll be using this to help you, or something else. So let's go start here. Okay, I want to find this graph. So it says plot the parabola through the points. Now, of course, they give you a vertex and these 2 points, and those are the points for the parent graph function, but they also give you a hint, which is really great, y equals x squared. And of course, that's what it is, so I would submit it. Yay, I'm happy. Okay, so that's essentially what you're doing, the very bare bones of what you're doing. You're basically trying to write these graphs over and over and over again. So now here's the big dogs. What if you're given something like this? So the red is already done for you, but what if I want to do the blue? Now notice how they're all kind of the same shape. They're all the same shape, but they're just kind of translated differently. So if I wanted to do blue, notice how this is going up, right? So I just need to do y equals x squared. And then if I want to translate it up, it's translated up 3 units. Each point on my blue is translated up 3 units. Can't you see? So that means I need to go over here and do plus 3 off to the side. I can check my work to see if it's right. And it is, which is awesome, right? Great. So that's good. Now, what if I want to do maybe the green here? Well, that's horizontal. So how did I change it? Think back earlier this week. How did I change it? Did I do x squared and then just, plus 4? But if I did plus 4, that's not possibly right, because if I did plus 4, then it would just go all the way up there with the green, and that's not correct. So what did I have to do here? Well, remember, guys, if I want to do horizontal, what you need to do is you need to put your number inside of this. So inside of the parentheses. So if I do minus 4 and then I do squared, what if you actually just did plus? What if you did plus and then squared? Because you may be thinking, oh, it's going to move to the right, so plus. Ha ha ha. Well, if you do the check the work, what do you really get? Oh, you actually get your purple. Oh, so what does that mean? That means you need to do the opposite. So let's go back here. It takes a little slow to load. Let's go back here. I'm actually going to copy that. I can copy this, Control C. I'm going to type this in for purple, okay? But I'm going to change that to be a negative. So now when I check my work, what happens is now I get purple and green. So go ahead and try to find orange yourself, okay? Let's skip around here. Let's go to this one. So now this one's a little bit more tricky. And the reason why this is tricky is because it's giving you blue, green, orange, and purple. But look at these points. They're all like, you know what I'm saying? Who wants to do that junk? All right. Now look at red. That's red. Now look at blue. I need to go through the origin 0, 0. but I need to kind of guess and check or use my algebra to get to my blue. So the first thing I could do is really just guess and check. Well, if that's 3, then maybe do like 1/2, and then let's just do x squared. Let's just check that. Now, this could take a long time, and I do not recommend this, okay? Maybe you want to do 3/4 or maybe 1/5. I mean, there's so many different options that you could do. 1/5, boom. I completely guessed, so that's kind of odd. There's so many different options that you can do to do this. However, here's one thing you could do to make sure you always get the right answer. You could use your algebra. You already know that this is a the vertex, right? So in this case, all your vertices are 0, 0. All you need is another point, guys. And so let's look at that point. That point is 5 and then 6. So 5, 6. So all I need is another point. And in this case, I'm going to use the point 5, 6 for my blue. I'm going to show you what this is. Okay? 5, 6. So watch. If I'm using this formula, A equals x minus h squared plus k, if I'm using this formula, if I have a point and I'm given a vertex, just like what we did yesterday with that one slide there, I can start plugging it in. What's my x? Well, this x will equal 5, and then the y will equal 6. Okay? My h will equal 0, and then my k will also equal 0. Okay, so that means I'm going to plug in 6. My a, I do not know. My x, which is going to be 5, minus 0, my h, and then plus 0. So I have a, 5 minus 0 is just 5, so I have 5 squared. This is 6. This will actually be 25. A, this is 6. Divide by 25, divide by 25. Okay, that's what I have. Now, what happens is this actually gives you, or should give you, it doesn't look like it is. Maybe that's not 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is oh, this is 5. Oh, that's my bad. Okay, I was like, this is definitely not giving you your answer. So let me change that in blue here. Man, should probably. So this is going to be 5. Sorry, my bad. So this is 5, and then all these 6s are 5 in blue. This is 5. This is 5. Okay, so that was my bad. Make sure you double check your actual points. If you need to actually go ahead and click on, I should have just done that, 5, 5. I should have just did that, 5, 5, but 5, 5. And then now this is actually 1/5. So A equals 1/5. Boom, now you know. So let's actually try this with green. Let's try it with green. So I want to get to these points. Let's actually get this point here. -2, -4. Actually, let's get the 2, -4. Let's do 2, -4. Because I think it'll be a little bit easier. And I'm always going to use my vertex. So in green, if I want to find green over here, gosh, it's being so slow. So I want to use this exact same formula. I'm actually not going to rewrite it. I'm just going to keep it over there. I'm going to use 2, -4, and my vertex is always going to be 0, 0. So my y now is -4. My a, I don't know. My x is 2 minus 0 squared plus 0. And this equals a, and then 2 squared, and then -4. -4 equals 4a. So this is going to be all over. And then this is 4, 4. So what is a? A equals -1. So that means I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to just go to green, and I'm just going to type in y equals -1, or you can just do a negative x squared. Let's check our work. Boom. It's that simple. So yes, you could guess and check all you want. I highly encourage you not to do that. Please don't. For orange, I can already see that's basically the exact same thing as red right there. So I can just say -3x and then squared, because it's almost verbatim symmetrical to red, but it's just a little bit off. So you see how that's just a tad bit off there. So I would need to kind of adjust that, just maybe a tad, maybe change it to 2. It's probably going to be 2. You can guess and check it if you want. There you go. So it is 2. So I just gave you 4 answers, right, or 3 answers right there. Isn't that amazing? So you can guess and check it all you want, or you can do it the math and just solve it using that way. Just get another point, which you already have. For purple, get that point. That kind of looks nasty, but you can choose either of those points if you want to get purple. Go through 0, 0 for your vertex and start plugging it in, and then you'll eventually get your A value. Okay? Awesome. Let's go through one more slide, and then let's be done. So let's just go through like slide 11. So plot the point. So plot a parabola through those points. And so parabola 1 and then parabola 2. So basically what you want is 2 parabolas, 2 quadratics that go through these points. This is rather difficult. And in this case, that is when I would basically use this thing right here. So let's use this, -6, 0, -4, 3. So I'm going to go over here, -6 and then 0. And then I have 4 and then 3, I think. -4, 3, and then 2, 0. -4, 3, and then 2, 0. So let me type in the -4, 3, and then 2, and then 0. So this is my graph. As you notice, these are the points right here that you can kind of get. So this is one graph that you can actually type in. So I have y equals -0.25 x squared minus x plus 3. So let's go ahead and type that in. Y equals -0.25, which is basically the same thing as 1/4, but you don't have to do that. It will register it either way. Minus 3x, and then I think it's 3x, right? Minus x plus 3. Minus x and then plus 3. And I can graph this, and it should work. You should get them right there. So that's one of them. Now, how to find the other one is up to you, okay? Now that you have this, you can actually use your vertex. So use your vertex. That was -2, 4, right? So use your vertex, and then pick a different point. So this is -4, 3. Right? And then go through your formula. So this is 3 equals, I have A, and I have, let's just do, what's my X? -4. And then minus my H, which is just another -2, and then squared, and then plus 4. And I want to find my A. I want to find what this will actually equal. And it may honestly equal something similar to this. Like, basically, it will be the exact same graph. It's just probably going to be in vertex form. And that's what I want. You take this graph and you put it in vertex form. Or you can do this. Once you use your Desmos, find your actual equation. You go back here, find your vertex, and then just solve for your A. Put that A in your vertex form, which is what I'm doing. Okay? So this is going to be plus plus. So that's going to be -2 squared plus 4. This is 3. So that's going to be 4a plus 4 and then 3. I minus the 4 over, so this is -1. This is 4a. Okay, so I divide by 4, and we already know that a was going to be -1/4. So I go back here and I just start typing it in. If my vertex is -2, 4, so I'm going to type in y equals -1 all over 4. And my vertex was x, and then plus 2 squared, and then this was going to be plus 4. So this is now my vertex form. This is my standard form, and then it should work out no matter what. Boom. Okay, so this is how you relate your standard form with your vertex form, and you should be very, very familiar with this, or at least get familiar with it. Okay, that's the last slide I'm going to do. But in the next slide, it's going to be very, very similar. You're basically just going to be given this, and this looks like your vertex. So really, you just need to use first things first, plug those 3 points into here. Okay, plug those 3 points into there. Once you get your standard form, you'd go back here, type in your standard form in the first, and then use your vertex and try to make that standard form into its vertex form. Okay, by either completing the square of your standard form that you would get from Desmos, or picking another point and then choosing and then using that point along with its vertex to find your A value, use that A value, plug in your vertex form. Okay? Either way, I hope that helps. I know I'm kind of explaining it fast. I hope that's making a little bit more sense for you guys. I hope it really is making sense. I'll probably explain this in class with you on Thursday. So, sweet. Awesome. Guys, that is it. Make sure you are reviewing for your Unit 3 test. So you're going to have factoring quadratics, you're going to have solving quadratics, all those types of properties, and quadratic formula even is going to be on there. Make sure you know quadratic equations. This is a great Desmos activity right here to match my parabola to really strengthen what vertex form is, your intercept form, your standard form, all of that fun jazz. It's really helpful. Okay, and then write your quadratic equations, just using that Desmos link and then using your vertex form in relation to the standard form. Make sure you complete the review. If you complete the review, just as a reminder, you get 5 extra credit points towards the test. And then let's just try to get the answers the first time. Let's try to not do as many partial credit requests. But if you do have a partial credit request on the test, then send it my way. Guys, this is C-squared mathematics. This was Algebra 2.1, and I hope you enjoyed the class. Feel free to go on YouTube on my channel and go through the playlist of Algebra 2.1 and find all the videos there. See you guys later.